Portal fantasy, also known as isekai, is a subgenre of fantasy. It is basically about the main characters going to another realm in any way the writers can think of, whether that be going through a portal, a magical door, closing your eyes, etc. Once they go to the other realm, they either try to find a way back home, or maybe live their whole lives in the other realm, or something like that. I was never a big fan of portal fantasies, because believe it or not, I've only seen 2 shows of it, ReZero and the Owl House. I choose the Owl House. As soon as I saw the title, I was immediately intrigued. I love owls and Owl City, so I might as well check out the Owl House. The Owl House is a portal fantasy cartoon made by Dana Terrace.
Terrace.
I'm sorry if what I did offended you.
This cartoon has been widely known for its representation of LGBTQ. I can appreciate representation, as long as it's not the only thing the show is capable of doing. In today's video, we'll be taking a look at the Owl House Season 1 Episode 1, and then in the next video, Season 1 Episode 2, and so on. I was about to review the entire season in one video, but the Wheel of Fortune said otherwise. I haven't watched Season 2 yet because I want to focus on Season 1 and Season 1 only. For now, Season 2 videos are for some other time. If you're gonna comment anything regarding Season 2 or 3 or others, put a spoiler warning, okay? Speaking of spoilers, full spoilers ahead, so turn back now and watch the show if you want to get the full experience. Most of the time whenever I talk about MLB, I don't warn you guys about spoilers. You want to know why? I want to spare you the misery of watching this garbage by spoiling you completely. I reveal spoilers of MLB without warning, so you won't have to experience the misery I experienced when watching this stupid ass cartoon. I watch this show so you don't have to. The same thing cannot be said about this. I watch this show because you have to. It's really good, unlike Miraculous Ladybug. So please exit this video and watch the show if you haven't. Okay, let's get to it. The first episode starts off by introducing Luz Noceda, a girl who dreams big and is a massive fan of anime clips, music, fantasy novels, etc. At first I thought Luz is Filipino because she looks like one of my cousins, but no, she's Dominican American. Say that 10 times fast. She is not well accepted by the people around her, even her own mother. Luz got in trouble for bringing snakes to school. Snakes. She also got in trouble for doing this, and this. You can get in trouble just by doing that? Can you also get in trouble by doing this? Luz was sent to summer camp to think inside the box. In other words, separate reality from fantasy. However, she didn't go to summer camp, and she never will, after a life-changing event occurred that day. A magical owl steals her stuff. She chased him all the way to a door that leads to the Boiling Isles, which looks pretty tame by my standards. You think that's weird? Take a look at this. She meets a super hot witch woman, Eda and Clawthorn, also known as the Owl Lady. She sells human artifacts illegally, before eventually getting caught. I am either crazy or that plush toy looks like Snorlax. Eda runs away with Luz to the one and only Owl House. So this house is why the show is called the Owl House? Okay. As far as I know, this is the one and only time Hootie opens like this. In later episodes, Hootie opens like a regular door. Edalyn has a roommate, and he is the second most adorable character in the show. Yeah, I said second. What are you gonna do? His name is King, voiced by Alex Hirsch. You may know him as the creator of Gravity Falls and the voice of Stanley. I'm not familiar with any of the other voice actors, so he's by far the only voice actor worth noting in the show. Him and someone else. When King was about to be revealed for the first time, I expected him to be a creature that doesn't resemble his big shadow. Not only because this is an overused trope, big shadow little creature, but also because it was revealed in advance. Wanted poster from earlier. Eda tells Luz to help them get his crown back from the conformatorium. According to Eda, Luz is the only one capable of going through the magical force field, since she's human. They sneak inside the conformatorium and found some prisoners who didn't do anything extremely wrong, to the point where they deserve imprisonment per se. She got arrested for writing fan fictions of food. He got confined for eating his own eyeballs. And this thing got confined for being on Twitter for 10,000 years.
The world is a simulation! We're but playthings for a higher being!
Okay, I understand why this thing would go to jail. Luz goes through the force field and realizes the crown was a lie, which is fine. That crown seems to be important to King, and what's important to King is important to Eda. They got captured by the plague doctor, and he started to confess his love to Eda. Hey, I was here first, pal. Just kidding, I'm married. As the gang escape, they free the innocent weirdos. They fight the plague doctor with the help from the weirdo prisoners. After that, they go back to the Owl House to give Luz a ride home. However, Luz refuses to go back to the place where she doesn't fit in, and decides to stay with them to not fit in together, and she aims to become a real witch. Before going to sleep, she told her mom she is gonna enjoy summer camp after all, and the pilot ends there. The end credit sequence shows Luz walking around the Boiling Isles, and we see 3 characters that haven't been introduced yet, but we still get to see them in the first episode. In the first episode! In the end credits. What the hell, dude? I would have preferred these characters to be included in the end credits and the intro after they've been officially introduced and became friends with Luz. You know? Anyway, that was the pilot of the Owl House. Before we conclude, we need to talk about
The elephant in the room.
the main lesson of the episode. It's pretty obvious of what it is. Never be afraid to be who you are. During the scene where Luz and King snuck into the conformatorium, Luz discovers that these guys did nothing wrong, and yet they're all incarcerated. She frees them and gives them a speech.
So, you have a different way of doing things. That may make you weird, but it also makes you awesome, don't you see?
It's also very obvious of what this episode symbolizes. It symbolizes free-spirited individuals as innocent people, unfairly getting penalized and incarcerated by society for not fitting in a prison called the conformatorium. Get it? Conformatorium? Different or weird doesn't equal bad. I highly disagree. Weirdos are terrible. They deserve to be banished. I mean, look at this weirdo. Would you ever want to accept this to be in your society? I wouldn't! Okay, serious talk. The lesson is good in general, and I like the symbolism, but here's my problem. The way they deliver the main lesson is kinda... In the opening where we see Luz for the first time, she got called out for bringing snakes to school and other stuff. It's supposed to establish Luz as a character. She's an outcast who loves expressing herself. We as the audience are expected to root for her. Okay, at first I thought the snakes part was an exaggerated joke, but after watching this scene and after listening to Luz's speech, I don't think this is a joke. I think it's an important plot point. It builds up to the moral of the episode, which is unfortunate since it contradicted it. It's true, these guys, specifically these guys, didn't do anything wrong, but she kinda did. She almost killed people with snakes. Poisonous or not, that looked very painful. It makes her speech meaningless, unearned. How did you even get to school with snakes in the first place? Did you inform your parents about this before doing the book report? Does this get explained in later episodes?
And nobody should be punished for who they are.
Nobody should be punished for who they are. If not giving a damn about safety is who you are, do you really think you don't deserve punishment? I'm starting to think her mother was in the right. Seriously, you should think inside the box. If you love expressing yourself, at least put some limitations, put some boundaries, never get carried away. I can respect other people's way of living. Live and let live. But if you're doing something so dangerous that it'll eventually end up concerning my physical well-being, why in the hell wouldn't I stop you with what you're doing unless I'm asking to get hurt? There are a lot of times when pushing the boundaries is a great thing, like trying to find a cure for a disease that doesn't have any cure yet. That is thinking outside the box, and it's helpful for the world. There are also some times, or maybe a lot of times, when thinking inside the box, putting limits on yourself is a good thing for you and the persons around you. I love making jokes, but I never go too far with them. Imagine one of my jokes involves me going outside and doing a stunt that concerns the safety of others just to pull off a punchline. Do I deserve punishment? I know I'm hurting a lot of citizens, physically, but that's who I am, bro. I'm an entertainer. I may be an entertainer, but I'm not a goddamn idiot. I have certain limits to making jokes, expressing myself, and doing anything, because having limitations prevents me from losing my sense of thought and morality. Having limitations can sometimes be good for you. They should have included that in this episode, since they showed this in the beginning. You know, if only they never showed this in the intro. If only she never did that and that. If only she just did this and this. If only she just did weird things without inflicting harm on others, I would honestly accept the main lesson 100%. But no, they just had to make Luz bring snakes to school and actually harm a bunch of Homo sapiens. That destroyed the message in my opinion.
Why does everyone think that being a weirdo is so bad? Oh, that's where the backup snakes were.
Look, you can be whoever you want to be. You can express yourself however you want to express yourself, as long as you don't go too far. Like killing civilians with snakes. Going too far is subjective, but it can be objective at some cases. Especially in this case, it's up to you to find out if you've gone too far. Just don't be stupid, okay? No matter who you are claimed to be, it is always possible to cross the line with your actions. This is who I am is never a good excuse for crossing the line, alright? As a matter of fact, using this excuse for doing terrible things makes you a terrible person. I know this is just a cartoon, and I know this isn't meant to be that realistic, but if you're gonna teach something to the audience, you gotta do better than this, bruv. Maybe I'm twisting it a bit too much, or maybe this is not a lesson at all. Maybe, just maybe, this is the beginning of Luz's character arc, and she will develop from it someday. I may be wrong because, as I said, I've only seen season 1. So let's see if this thing does go somewhere further than the first episode and the first season. Despite not being able to effectively communicate its message, it did do a great job introducing the characters we'll be having a fun time with. We have Eda, the foxy rebel, a scammer who doesn't like following the rules of this specific society. Later on, she will be so much more. Then there's King, the cute and comedic character. Thankfully, he's not annoying. At least for me. Talking of annoying, Hootie may be funny and annoying, but he's also badass in later episodes. Lastly, we have Luz, the MC we all relate to. While I don't agree with what she said here because of what she did here, she still is kinda relatable beyond the pilot episode. She's been doing good so far. I'm giving this episode a 7 out of 10, or maybe a 6 out of 10. No, 7 out of 10, it's fun. Those are just my opinions, and I'd like to hear yours now. What are your thoughts about the pilot episode? Is it a good introduction? Is the main lesson even a lesson or something else? Is Edalyn the hottest witch in the Boiling Isles? Is King really the most adorable, or someone else? Let me know down in the comments. Next video, we'll be tackling episode 2. Thank you so much for watching my video. Be sure to subscribe and like if you enjoyed. My name is Cyrus the Great, and happy Leif Erikson's Day. Oh wait, that's a real holiday. Then why did the narrator said SpongeBob made it up? My childhood was a lie. I've been celebrating this every day until now. Well, happy day, I guess. Leif Erikson's Day is on October 9, note to self.
You're not that type of boy. I choose to be my life. Isn't it strange? Maybe it's destiny. Out of all the boys around, I wonder why two gotta be you. Love is a chemistry.